Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Slinging Shots with Philip. And we are here today to test a new product. And you're probably going, Philip, there's no slingshot target. What are we testing? Well, here it is. It's the Simpleshot Hammer XT Sling Bow. I've been wanting one of these because we have archery club here at the church in the basement on Tuesday nights, and I don't shoot well with archery, but I thought I might do better with this. So this you can get at Simpleshot. I believe it's around $100, somewhere in there. So make sure if you think it's cool and you want one, go to Simpleshot. I've got a link in the description to my affiliate link. If you buy it through there, I get a teeny little commission, much appreciated. And any money that I make on that will probably go back into more Simpleshot gear until I have everything and I don't need anything else. Then I will probably buy better cameras and things like that because I'm a video nerd. Let's talk about the Hammer XT. Obviously, it looks like a wrist rocket. It fits on like a wrist rocket. It's got the support brace. This one is nice. It actually has Velcro on it, so you can adjust it to fit where you want your grip to be. You're going to be using a hammer grip on this. You're not going to be doing any pinch grips or anything like that. A couple of things about it that are really cool. There's a little black lever right here. If I push that out, this whole head pops off. And there's another head that comes with it that snaps down on, and you now have just a regular Hammer XT slingshot that you can set up as through the fork or over the top. And because it is like a wrist rocket, it would probably be a really good hunting slingshot. We can't hunt here where I live with a slingshot, so I'm not going to worry about it. I strictly got it so I could shoot alongside the kids in archery with something that's a little novelty and a little different. There's also the brush piece here that holds your arrow in there, so when you shoot it downstream, it balances everything and guides it down properly. Now, when you get this from Simpleshot, it comes with some big fat tubes on it, very similar to the ones you would see on a wrist rocket at the big box store. I did some research, and I believe somewhere on the Simpleshot site, it mentions with those tubes at their longest length, they're about 30 plus pounds pull weight, draw weight. You can shorten them down by pushing the little ball bearing that holds them in place up farther and make the piece on the back side a little longer. And you're going to have a shorter draw. And it's going to be a lot harder, and it will get up well over 40-pound draw weight. Now, I'm a desk guy. I'm not a laborer. I don't do construction. I don't do those jobs that require you to be fit and perfect and have the killer physique, if you haven't figured that out already. Anyway, I'm not a big, strong guy, so I did not want a 30-pound pull because I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to pull it. So what I did is I got some 0.7 millimeter Simpleshot heavy-duty bands, and they've got like a 25-20 taper on them. They're massive, and I doubled them up. So I have the equivalent of a 1.4 millimeter thickness band with a 25-20 taper. I took the D loop off of the tubes, which was a task in and of itself, but I got it done. And I just mounted them up on the heavy duty bands like you would a normal pouch. Now, one thing about the D loop, when it comes from Simpleshot, it's got a piece that goes through this loop, and it's like a little sandwich thing. It's for you to grip it with your hand and pull it back. I don't think I would have the grip strength to pull that back at 30 pounds. And this finger, I have injured it, so I have some nerve damage in it, so it's not super strong. And that's my hold hand, my pinch hand. So I said, I'm going to go out and buy one of those releases, and I have one. We'll see it in a little bit. So what I did is I took that piece off, and I just used a archery release in the D loop, and that's how I shoot it. Now, what we're going to do today to test it, I have a fish scale. We're going to do a draw weight test to see what the draw weight is. I think I know what it is, but we're going to do a draw weight test. And then I've got an actual Genesis NASP certified, what the kids use at competitions in their tournaments. Genesis bow, I've been told they max out at about 20-pound pull weight. This one I know is maxed out, so that's the one we're going to test with. Then after we do that, as you can see, I've got a chronograph we're going to fire some arrows, which I have a whole pile of them here. We're going to fire some arrows downrange. I'm not going to critique my hits on how well I do on the targets. We're going to shoot some arrows downrange through that chronograph and see what kind of arrow speed we're getting with the Genesis bow. Then we're going to turn around and do the same thing with the Hammer XT. So I'm going to start when we shoot. I'm going to do 5 rounds, 5 arrows on each one and get their numbers. And then we're going to go back and do 5 more just to make sure our consistency is in the ballpark. So that's how we're doing the testing. We have our bow. I've got my fish scale to weigh the draw weight. Make sure it's zeroed out. I'm going to put it on the bowstring. I'm going to pull back to the anchor point we usually use on the corner of our mouth and see what kind of draw weight we get on the bow. $19.66. So they say these are 20 pounds. That is right on the money. All right, now I have the Hammer XT. All right, I'm going to zero out my fish scale, put it through the D loop. Okay, let's pull this back to the anchor point I usually use for an anchor point up here when I'm shooting slingshot. So that's what I'm going to use for my anchor point here. So let's pull that back and see what we get. $19.34, right, almost dead on what the bow gets. So I've got this dialed in to pretty closely match the bow. I've done a few draw weight tests on this, and it's been between 18 and that 19 and a half that we just pulled. Let's now take some shots, turn on our chronograph, and see what the bow does. Okay, our chronograph is fired up. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I will tell you what the numbers are anyway. So I'm going to load up here. And I know this one is dialed up to its max weight because one of our leaders and teachers is also shooting with the kids all the time, and he's got it dialed up all the way. So I'm going to take my first shot with the bow. $135.3. Okay, here's shot 2. $136.3. We're pretty consistent on that. So let's see what shot 3 is. $134.6. Okay, that shot 3. Here comes shot 4. $135 dead on. Okay, here is shot 5. $133.4. So right in that 134, 135 range is what we're getting from the Genesis bow at 20-pound pull. So let's get the Hammer XT. Okay, now it's time for the Hammer XT. I have my little release device so I can pull it back easier. Let's get our first arrow. We're going to do 5 arrows and see what kind of speeds we get. Okay, here is shot number 1. $100.4. Ooh, that's not looking real good, but we're going to do some more. Okay, here is shot 2. $108.9. Okay, shot 3. 107.1. Okay, shot 4. $111.8 for the record. That was a bullseye. And shot 5. So it looks like our max so far is a 111.8. 106.7. So when we average those out, I will throw the number up on the screen. And that was round 1. So let's run round 2 real quick. Let me pull the bow out. Okay, first shot. $128.9. Shot 1, shot 2 coming up. $130 on exactly. Shot 3 was 127.3. Shot 4 is 132.3. $134.3. Once again, I will average those up when I edit. Do some calculating. Bing, bing, boom. There's your number. Okay, now back to the Hammer XT. And luckily, I have exactly 5 arrows left. So let's do this. One thing about the bands is sometimes they get tangled on themselves. And here we go for shot 1. 108.2. For the record, I completely missed the target. Here's shot 3. 107.8. Wait, that was shot 2. Sorry, that was shot 2. All right, here's shot 3. 110.3. Here comes shot 4. 105.9. And shot 5. Here we go. And shot 5 was 107.0. So there we have our numbers. All right, so I will put them up on the corner of the screen, round 1, round 2, with the actual averages so we can see what happened. Obviously, the Genesis bow was very consistent. This was a little less consistent, probably because I'm not getting the same anchor spot every time. Just that much room could make a big difference with these big elastic bands. However, I was hoping the Hammer XT Bowsling would generate the same speed numbers as the Genesis. And it's about 20 miles an hour slower, 20 miles an hour, 20 feet per second. Correction, sorry, 20 feet per second slower. I'm speculating the reason the Hammer XT is slower is because as the arrow goes through, the fletchings are getting held up a little bit, and this is affecting the speed. I bet if this brush wasn't on there and it was just some sort of a bar, it would hold up better and go faster. But then you've got the issue where the fletchings would hit it and bounce, so it wouldn't be accurate. So this helps hold it in place as it's going through, but I believe we're sacrificing some feet per second by doing it. Do I like this? Yes, I do. I am having fun with it. One thing that I did learn is the way it came stock, when I would hold it out, I couldn't get it straight where I was getting a good vision down the line. Because I have a small arm, I had to adjust the Velcro strap here to get it so when I went out, it was flat and level and comfortable. One little knock on this that I hope they'll fix in the future is the Velcro strap only has a tiny little bit of actual sticky Velcro on it. So if I pull it any tighter than this to get it adjusted down more the way I want it, there's nothing to hold it. So the Velcro could go a little bit farther back this way. I think that would be a benefit to this. So take that for what it's worth. Will I continue to shoot archery with the kids with this? You bet, because I'm no worse with this, and it's kind of a novelty, and the kids get a kick out of it. I'm loving it. I'm sure if I had those big old bands on there, those big old tubes that came with it, that I would get a much heavier draw, but I would also get more arrow speed. Well, we're just shooting targets in here. And the last round that I shot with our archery group, I got like 5 right in the yellow. So I figured I was doing pretty good. I'm going to keep this. It's going to be fun to play with. Remember, if you want one of these, go to simpleshot.com. Use my link in the description below, because I have an affiliate set up there, and I'll get a teeny little commission that probably gets fed right back into them with things I buy with the money I make. So use my link. Go out there and buy this if you liked it. It is a lot of fun. It does also have, let me throw this in at the very end, it's got a Picatinny rail down here. So what some people do is they will add a fishing reel on the bottom. And so when you shoot it, you can either like shoot at a fish and try and arrow through it, hit it, and then reel it in. Or some people can use that to fire their bait out. And then it lands, and then now you've got a fishing pole right on your hand. That's another way that this gets used. It's pretty versatile. It can do a lot of things, especially if you pull this head off and make it a regular slingshot. It gives a lot of versatility. The forks are a little bit wider than I like, so I will leave it in the arrow setup, because that's what I like. I like 90mm forks for regular shootings. That's the Hammer XT Bowsling. If you want one, use the link for Simpleshot. Go out there, get yourself one, and enjoy shooting. And thanks for watching, folks. God bless, and keep on slinging.